Hello me hearties, it's Rob here and welcome to the first of my videos on renovating, shall we say, this original Super HotShot. And as you can see, it's in a bit of a poor state, so we're gonna start by taking it apart. But as you might be able to see, I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up, but all these electronics are absolutely covered in grease. So I've got an old towel to keep cleaning my hands as I go, and I'm going to start by basically dismantling it to try and work out what bits I may need to order. So I shall be back. Okay folks, so I'm still in the process of taking it all apart, but I thought I'd stop and show you a few things, one of which are the dog bones, which look like they are actually aluminium tubes with steel dog bones on the ends of them, which I've not seen before. And as I say, everything is covered in grease, which turns out, I think, is for this steering servo, not steering, throttle, the speed controller. And I've not seen one like this before. The servos, I don't know whether I'll be, well, I certainly won't be using them in this current state, but because they're ACOM's originals, I may well take them apart and see if I can put some different, or maybe not, wires on, but we'll see when I sort that out. But that feels like it's completely seized. But anyway, I will crack on and finish the dismantling and the cleaning and get back to you once I start the rebuild. I've taken it all apart, I've cleaned it all up, I've reinstalled or rebuilt up the rear gearbox, which I had fun with because after doing it I discovered that the torque tube motor that I put in is possibly knackered, but I don't know, I've got to give that a try. Anyway, turns out this is actually a Tamiya SuperShot, not a Super HotShot. I won't go into detail, but yeah, during my research I discovered that, yeah, it's a SuperShot, not a Super HotShot. So with that, I've managed to find a vintage build guide on the interweb. So I'm working through that, but at the minute one of the first steps is to screw the servos into this lower body, but I don't know if you'll be able to see, if it'll focus. It's broken into pieces there and there, so I'm hopefully getting some new bits today. As far as the top of the body is concerned, I'm umming and ahhing whether to swap this, because I've only been able to find the lower body with an upper body, but it's the re-re, and the upper body of both the HotShot and the Super HotShot now has a great big hole here that gets covered with a aluminium plate, and I can't get hold of this top body, but it looks a bit of a state. Not that I'm having a go at anybody, but I may well use the new body or the new chassis in total, and see how we go with that. So anyway, done the rear, diff and gearbox. So I'm going to do a dry fit of the front one. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is to make up the counter gear assemblies, and this is the first one with I think it's 1150 bearing in one end and an 850 in the other. So we put the ball bearings in that one, and that's that done. And then we take this 25mm by 5mm tube and we pop this, what do they call it, bevel gear shaft end in, and the note says push firmly. So there we go, and that's all the way in, and I've just been shat on. But there we go. So that's that bit done. And bear with me while I scroll down, and we need to take this little beauty. We put the output shafts in. Well, honestly, I couldn't get the circlip off because it's a tiny little metal ring. It's not a proper E-clip, and I just couldn't get it out. I mean, I can't even see it at the minute, but there you go. So anyway, we've got those in. So we need to make up the prop shaft bearing. This is the prop shaft bearing, and like I say, I'm going to do it a dry fit for you. So we've got quite a thick washer that goes in. Then this bull race that nowadays I think comes with the washers, and then another washer, and it's all supposed to sit in there. Ooh. And then I think what you really need to do is put the bearing in first, and that goes in there, if you can see. And then we pop that in, hopefully. Get in. Oh, there we go. Bit brutal. And then we need to pop this prop shaft, output shaft in, and whiz it round until it clips in completely, and there we go, and that's that bit done. We then need this bevel gear, and pop that in there, like so. And then we need these 3 planetary gears. And then we need the other half of the gearbox, and we need to pop that on there, and there is a note to tell you to make note of which one you put where. And then we need the 30mm pipe that goes there, and this, do they give it a name? Counter gear that goes over that. Then we need to pop this bevel gear shaft into the bevel gear itself, and then we can pop that in so it looks like that. We've then got this pin, and honestly I'm not really too sure what it does, other than the bleeding thing falls out because the output shaft for the wheels has got an hole in it. We then pop the differential spur gear. Over and hopefully line up. That's not lining up, is it? Oh yeah. And then it's just a case of closing the gearbox up and putting some screws in. So I'll get on and do that with the grease. Okay, so here's the gearbox, and we have 4 screws here, self-tappers, and then 1 nut and bolt with this brass thing, and I can't remember what it's used for at the minute, if anything, but that little screw there was screwed in, so I've screwed that back in ready. I've done the suspension or the wishbones and things, and my bits have come, which is a good job, because I've ended up changing all 4 of these, because I thought I was only going to have to change that one because it was broken, but unfortunately this one, the screw pin, I think they call them, don't they, won't tighten up. I'm not sure if it's cracked, I can't see, but these 2, at least one of the screw pin things is cracked, so I've ended up changing all 4 of them. I'm also changing the 2 steering knuckles, because one of them, this one is cracked in this kingpin mount, and this one was just so full of caked on hard grease that I had to hammer the half shaft out to clean it all up. And as I found some brand new ones in my spares, I thought, you know what, let's go for it. I'm also swapping these because I found some of these as well, which are part of the kingpin mounts, because I think these might be a bit worn, so they're being changed. The battery holder is cracked here, and I believe it's been cracked all the way through, so we have a brand spanking new one. And I've gone round, sanded these smooth, and then gone round them all with some thin cyano to seal it. So that's that. As I said, all of these mounts apart from this one, I think, had at least a crack in, and 2 of them fell apart. But I've got these which I have ordered because I need the 2 servo mounts and this little beast here, which is to mount this onto. So that's that, and as you can see, oops, if you can get it out, I've ended up ordering a new chassis because at the time I couldn't find this on its own. It's broke here and here, and I think also there's one of them may well be cracked somewhere else, but hey, so that's gone. And as you can see, there's a bit of a difference between the original bodies, or the original top chassis here, this cutout. So I've ended up, because I decided I was going to use it, because no offence to anybody, but it's looking a bit scabby, this is, and I haven't got the patience to try and clean it up, so that's gone as well. Well, it's not gone, I'm going to save that because I can't find anything wrong with it. But yeah, so I've also ended up ordering this aluminium plate, which I think is a bit better because if we get, this is the new one. Oh, I don't know. Goes somewhere like that, doesn't it? But anyway, you can get a bit of access to the electronics without having to take it all apart. So that'll be coming shortly, I'm assuming. And then last but not least at the moment is I've ordered a new roof for the cab. This is the one that comes originally and it looks fantastic if you ask me. It's brushed aluminium, so yeah, I think this will be going on instead of this, but I think this might come in useful for the HotShot, so I'm not chucking it. So there we go. I will get on now and do a bit more, have a look at what we need to do next, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so I've built up the front suspension with these rather weird ball joint kingpins, and I'm now ready to just stick them on the front differential like so. We've got a big long screw pin for there and a shorter one for there, so I'll slap them on and see what we've got to do next. Right me muck mates, we are at the point to install this funky jazzy prop shaft. So it simply slots in like so, and then this beast we have to try and line up and then slot it in place like so, and then we've got the shock mounts for the front that screw on at the same time. So I'm not going to do that in front of the camera because it'll all go all along just like me worms. So yeah, I just still can't get over that prop shaft. Anyway, later guys. Right then muckers, we've been getting on a bit. We've now got the roll cage installed and the new roof. However, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. I can't because of the contrast. I've discovered that basically the diff housing stroke gearbox where the roll cage bolts onto has cracked on one side, so I'm probably going to have to get a new diff, but because it's quite a long, it's over an inch long, the mount is, I've managed to put a tie wrap round, so we'll see how that goes. Now then, I've rebuilt the chocks. This is the oil that came out of it, and I'm not sure if it's meant to be pink or whether it's just the soft yellow that's gone a bit weird over time, but hey, that's going in the bin. I've cleaned them up as best as I can, and I've put this 900 CST in to hopefully give a bit more damping. So we just need to mount them. So I'll carry on, do this other side and carry on regardless. Up the Khyber. And so here we have it, all put back together with a combination of new bits and old bits, and to be honest, I think it's looking quite good. I'm still unsure as to whether it's a proper SuperShot or HotShot converted, because it's supposed to have some sort of stone chip cover that's actually screwed into place, so that you then have to take one of these off and use this, lifting it off and swiveling it out the way to install the battery rather than this. But hey, I can't find one of them at the minute, so I might have a look and put it back in place if it's not too expensive once I've had my next pension payment. But hey, but there we have the SuperShot, and here we have the finished HotShot. So again, I've had to basically, I can't tell you, I've had to replace all the wishbones front and back, and some other little bits to get this one back up and running. I've had to buy a new bumper as well, but there we go, it's all back together once again because it's a vintage one. I've stuck one of my old 27 megahertz in, but it's got a modern electronic speed controller, and because it hadn't got this anti-roll bar, sway bar, whatever you want to call it, I call it anti-roll bar, and looking on the internet, you can only buy it with I think it's one or two, maybe two of the shock absorbers. Anyway, loads of bits for the shocks at over 40 quid. So this actually is off the Boomerang, my spares department, and it fitted, so there we go. Two fully functional four-wheel drive off-road buggies. Looking at it, I think I might have to do some adjustments with the steering arms, but hey, that'll be when I've taken them out for a run. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching, bye! Now, while stripping it down, I found this. Basically, there was a nail glued into the head and then glued into the body. So I've managed to remove that without breaking it, so we'll find a screw eventually. And then also there was this nail held in with sort of bluey tacky stuffy thingy doobly on this is I think the lower wishbone holding the doobly firkin together.